everybody. In this Tornelo video, our team would like to share with you something that we have been working on for a while now. So we all know that Tornelo has many features, but it is not always so easy to find them and use them. And we do realize how important the user experience is, which is why we have now started working with UI and UX designers, and we aim to bring a better design to the platform, clearer and hopefully more beautiful as well. And the first step on the journey is going to be to bring a new registration system. This system is not yet built, but we have a mock-up prototype right now. It will take some time before our developers will actually bring it to life. But we would very much like your feedback right now, because we want you to use the platform in the future, and that is why your opinion is so important to us. So please take a look and let us know what you think.
So here we see the familiar tournament lobby. The first step, of course, is still to bring players into the lobby. Once they are here, they see information about the event under the event summary. New thing here is this registration widget, where they can enter their email address if they are not signed in and continue to the registration. In case they don't have an account, this would ask them to create one before they proceed. But let's say that we already have an account and we can proceed by entering our password and by clicking register now. This will take us to the registration process. And as with everything on Tornelo, things can be very simple and things can be very complex. And our main challenge is to make things as versatile as possible so it fits everybody's needs, because every tournament is a little different. So we want this registration system to be equally good for one person who is registering for an individual tournament, as well as for a manager who is registering a whole team for a team competition. So at the screen, you have to choose who you are and who you are registering today. So maybe I just want to register myself and no other players. So I will select just me and proceed. I can see my name here in theory, and that tells me that everything is correct. The summary on the right side tells me that I'm registering one player, which checks out, and I can proceed. Since this account has already been established, all the information about me are already in, and I don't need to fill in anything. And I can just proceed to the next step. Here is required information about the event, so I need to sign up to a specific section. Let's say I'm going to play in Jedi Open. I can represent a theme, maybe my club or a federation or something like that in an individual competition, but maybe I just want to leave it blank. Here at the summary, I can see if there are required updates. So if the fields are required, like this one, you can recognize it by the red star, or if that information is optional. So this would be a choice of the organizer. You can choose if each field is required or if it is not required. And depending on that, you will receive information from the players. So after we've selected the section, we are allowed to proceed to the next step. And here we can just review our payments. There is only one entry fee, and it was already automatically selected for us. So here I can see I'm supposed to pay $20, and I can proceed to check out. And here we go. I'm already registered to the event, so that was easy. And hopefully this is how it would look for most people. And there will be a new option to also manage my registration in the lobby, where I would be able to change details and change what I signed up for and so on. But things can also get a little bit more complicated. So how would it look like if I didn't just want to register myself, but maybe I'm a parent and I want to register my children? So in that case, the best option for me is to click on Family Members and proceed. Here I can see all player profiles which are connected to my account. And maybe today George is not going to play, so I will remove him, and I can see that now I am registering one player. But maybe I want to also add their sister, so I can change tabs and click on Search and Add. Here in this field, I can search for players either by their name or by their FIDE ID, national ID, and anything that is included on Tornelo. So I can type a name, and it will give me some results. Here I can check if these details check out. Yes, this is the right player that I am looking for, and I can click on yes and add that player. Here I can see now I am registering two players, and I can check out their list once again. I'm happy with that, and I can proceed. Some information here are already filled in, but the year of birth is not filled in, and it is required information. So I have to fill that into the box, and here as well. These informations are not required, so I could enter them, but I don't have to. I can just continue. There are only optional updates left. So let's go ahead. We also want to include an option for the organizer to create their custom questions with maybe a drop-down list with a date or number and so on. And in the future, hopefully, we would also like to include the option to sell things like a t-shirt or accommodation or maybe airport transfer and so on. This is something that is definitely coming. Let's say that we are selling t-shirts in this specific case. This is also required information, so it will be necessary to fill that in. And after that, we can proceed. Here we are signing up for a team competition, actually. So it is not so easy as it was before, where we could include the team name or didn't have to. For a team competition, of course, we have to select a team. And we can either join a team which was created by somebody else already, or we can create a new team. So let's say in this case, somebody else created a team, but in order to join the team, I need to know the team password, a PIN number, because not everybody can be happy with anyone in the world joining their team. So when you are creating a theme, you can select a password for the theme and share it with your players. Then everybody can register on their own because they know the PIN code and they can register themselves. We can also see that since this theme was already created by somebody else, the section is assigned automatically and it is not possible to change it. The theme already exists in one section. So after we entered the PIN, we now joined the theme. The other option is to create a new theme. In that case, we can choose to create a PIN if we want to restrict who can join the theme, or we can leave it open, and that means that everybody will be able to join the theme without having to enter the passcode. But in this case, we also have to choose the section. So this theme is going to play in an open section. And now we have data for 2 players complete, and we can continue. Here we can see the overview of payments, and that altogether we are supposed to pay $45. We can decide to pay later. This will bring us back to the lobby. And when we are ready to pay, we can click Complete Registration and check out. At any time during the process, it is also possible to save the progress and exit. And it is also possible to go back and see the previous screens and so on. Everything should also be saved automatically, so you don't have to be worried that you would lose your progress and have to start over. So let's proceed to checkout. And now we are done, and we can proceed to manage our players. Maybe add more, maybe George will change his mind and he will want to play as well. So we will be able to do that from the lobby. And now for the most interesting example, and that is when a captain or a teacher or team manager is registering a whole lot of players who do not belong to his account. He's just in charge and he wants to sign them up. Maybe he wants to pay for them and he wants everybody to be ready to play. So let's select other players, since those players are not my family members and it's not just me, it's other players. And let's click next. So first new screen that we have here is information about the manager. I'm sure every organizer will agree with me that it is good to have contact information for the captain or the teacher because of organization needs and in case you need to clear things out and so on. So it is very useful to actually add all this and be able to access this information in the tournament lobby. It is also possible to add another manager. So let's say that one person in charge of the club is signing up players, but there will be a different coach going with the children to the tournament. In that case, this second person can also get access to the registration and make changes in the future. Adding players, removing players, updating their details, and so on. Next up is actually adding those players. We don't have to do that always. Maybe we have a team competition and we only want to sign up some teams and we want to add the names of the players later. So then we can click on later and proceed to create teams. But right now, let's say that we want to add some players. So we can again search by a name or FIDE ID. Let's look for this person. We can check all these details and decide whether this is the right player or whether we need to keep searching. So we can look at the next one or the next one, and if there is no luck, maybe we need to create a new profile for this person. Or maybe we realize that this was the right person all along, and we can click yes, add this player, and we can see we already have one person added. An advanced feature for frequent users would be to save lists of players to your account and then simply bring them during the registration. So let's say I want to register Blue Team, which is a name I chose for this team, and I want to sign up all these players. Maybe there was a tournament last week and all these players were already playing, so I can just use the same list without having to do too much work, which can be very handy. But if you don't want to, you don't have to use this feature and you can just simply add players one by one. In any case, in the tab registration list, you can now review all players that you have chosen and see their details in case you want to make sure that you chose the right one. In case this is not the right person or you change your mind, you can always remove that player. And they are now grayed out and they will not be playing in this tournament unless you click add player back. And now we are back on 16 players. We are happy with that number and we can proceed. So management of so many details can be a little bit challenging. So we gave it a lot of thought and we want to make it as easy as possible. So if you are already using a list that you used before, it is possible that a lot of this information will be already filled in. But even if they are not, we want to make it very easy for you to do so. So let's say that we want to edit multiple fields at the same time. So the organizer is asking for the year of birth, for the gender, contact email, phone number. All these fields will be Tornelo built-in questions, and each organizer will be able to choose whether to include them in the form and whether to make them required, mandatory. In addition to that, they will be able to create their own questions, and we will take a look at that in a second. But right now, let's take a look how we can edit multiple fields. When we click on bulk edit, this new field is revealed, and we also have boxes here to choose players. So let's say we want to choose all of them, and we just want to assign the teacher's email to all the players because we don't want to share their email. So we type in the contact for the school and click apply. And for all the selected players, this contact email will be applied. Of course, we can also just go one by one and change the field. So if we select the gender here, we can select one from the drop-down list and proceed like this for all the players until we are done. Year of birth is the required information, so we definitely need to type it in for all the players before we can proceed. The phone number is not, but we can still add it if we want to make it easier for the organizer. So we would select the country first and type in the number. Easy. This way we can fill in all the information required, and when we are happy with the result, we can continue. So on this screen, we see questions which were created by the organizer. Some of them are mandatory and some of them are not. So again, we can fill in all this information. And again, to make our job a little bit easier, we can take a look at these filters. So as you've probably guessed, these filters can help us see which players are, for example, the required ones. So this summary tells us there are still 2 players who require some update. And we can see these red marks here, but maybe they could be hidden somewhere. So when we click on the required, we only see the players that require update at this moment. And we can fill that in manually. And now we are happy that we can proceed and click next. So the same as in the previous example, we can either join a theme or create a theme. So let's say that we want to join a theme. We want to select this red theme and proceed. So somebody else already created this theme and it is assigned to a section. It is password protected, so we have to know the theme before we join it. So at this moment, we still need 2 themes to accommodate all our players. And we need to know the pin in order to actually add it to our list. So what are the options for that? Either we know the pin or we don't, or maybe this theme is not password protected and therefore anybody could join that. What if we create a new theme? In this case, we don't have to enter theme pin, it is up to us, but we do have to select a section. And right now we can see we have total of 3 themes because there's still a password missing here and section missing here. But once we fill that all in, we now have 5 themes. We are happy with that, and we can proceed to the next screen. Here, of course, we need to assign players to those themes. So this is event details. We need to know within the event where the players are going to play. So if we select a theme, this will automatically assign the section because themes already exist in sections. And we can proceed like this for all the players until there is no other update required. And afterwards, we can proceed to the next step. As a special feature, we have here an option to book additional places within our team. Maybe we don't know the names of the players yet, but we know that we definitely want to buy more spaces in the team, and that way we can book it from this screen. We can also choose whether players will pay the entry fee themselves or whether the manager will pay for them. We can't choose these things for the teams which we don't own, which we didn't create, but we can always do that for the teams that we have created. We can also check what players are inside the theme to make sure that we didn't make any mistake. So after we choose whether the manager or the players are paying and whether we need some extra places, we can check in the summary that everything is correct and proceed. Here we have overview of all the payments. So some players chose to buy a t-shirt and all players have to pay an entry fee. So we can again see a summary. Altogether we owe $430. But what if this was a team tournament where you have to pay for the team and not per player, but per whole team, and the team can have as many players as desired. So that would require a slightly different view, and we can have the entry fee per a team name and some of expenses for the players within those teams. If we need to know the details, we can check out which players are actually asking for a shirt because that's very important to know. And we can decide to pay later, or we can check out, and this will conclude the registration process. At the congratulations screen, we have this button here which will take us to the lobby where we have a very nice system for management of those teams, but we will show you that in a different video, so definitely stay tuned for that. But last thing I want to mention is this new concept of access tokens. So let's say you are a teacher and you have a whole classroom of players and they don't have an account. They would like to play an online tournament. So from now on, we have these access tokens, and when you enter this token on Tornelo website, you will be able to join the lobby and play as that player without any need for an account. And you can always create the account after the tournament is finished if you enjoyed the experience of playing on Tornelo, but if this is a one-time thing, it is very easy to just go there and join. I'm sure all organizers have been there when a teacher shows up with a bunch of players and they all need arbiter token. So now they can manage it themselves. They can download these access tokens in CSV and just distribute it between their children. And it will be much easier for them to join and play. Maybe you would like to know, is this going to work on phone? And the answer is hopefully yes. We have a special version for mobile as well. So this is what you could expect there. It is of course very similar and optimized for a mobile. So it is very easy for anybody from anywhere to register for your events. We can find the same screens that we are already familiar with, the manager details, searching for players, finding players, and so on. We will be able to add players from the list. We will be able to view the list in a pop-up window. And we will be able to check the registration list. And even look up details for a particular player. In order to enter all player details, we will go column by column by selecting which column do you need and filling information one after the other. So this is not possible to do as fast as on desktop, but for individual person or for a parent, this should still be very easy and fast. The summary at the top can unroll and reveal all the details, or it can stay hidden and just give you an overview. Yes, you still need to update 16 players. When clicking into fields, you will either be able to select something from a list, or you will be able to type in and enter whatever is needed into that field. For an individual person, this will be no different than any form in any of your apps. It's just simple fields, and you can scroll up and down and proceed when you are ready to proceed. This next step is creating the teams, putting them into section and choosing pin, as well as assigning players into teams and choosing who is going to pay for the team and maybe adding extra places to your teams. At the end, we will have a review of payments. Of course, we will be able to view details, who is buying those t-shirts. That's very important. And finally, we will be able to view the access tokens, and we will be able to jump the lobby and manage players. So that's it. I hope you liked this new registration system. If you like the video as well, please give us a like. Do comment and let us know what you think. We are very eager to hear from you and to hear what you think about all this. And we are very happy to make adjustments and make it even better. So please let us know what you think and have a nice day.